Hello guys. So I decided to finally stand up today and do an episode like this. So it's almost May and I've currently been with my girlfriend for almost a year now. Which really got me thinking not just about her but all the different kinds of relationships that I've ever had. No, not girlfriends, just general relationships. What, Rhys, have you suddenly gone soft? No, I'm Australian, I make things fucking soft. So I've selected a couple of relationships to talk about and my ways of dealing with them. Friends. Do you know somebody enough that you trust them with your private information? No, me neither. I'm joking, of course I have friends. All 10 seasons of them. It may have been different with you and your first friend, but my first one was in kindergarten. Well, technically she was my cousin, but it still counts! I don't remember anything much to be honest, but I do remember that I used to wear this Superman cape and I used to pretend I could fly around the room. They truly were the best of times. The wall was definitely my kryptonite. But then eventually I moved through to primary school and I made my first two friends. Keenan and Mason. I remember we used to be really close, but it was kind of cut short when Keenan had to move to Melbourne, unfortunately. I think the main reason why we became friends is because we were born exactly the same day and pretty much exactly the same room. But hey, at least I won't forget his birthday. Anyways, after he moved, Mason and I, we had a couple of good years to kind of really bond, but we kind of made our separate ways when we both had different friendship groups. Well, different tastes in friendship groups. And then, as I had to move along, I later met somebody who today I still consider as a brother. Only one thing was, during our first official conversation, I was kind of a dick. I swear to God, I don't know what the hell happened, but let's face it, everyone in primary school is a little I walked right up to him and said, "I don't really like you." Yep. Great job, Rhys. You're totally gonna make friends by insulting the hell out of them. When you insult somebody in primary school, you pretty much say turd in front of their face and then they would just waltz into the corner and cry. But I still remember his response to this day, and he said, "I know." I remember walking off and I wasn't confused or lonely or anything. I was just surprised of how cool he was about it. But something really odd happened. A week after I had made that comment, we started to hang out. I mean, it was just out of the blue, and oddly enough, we're still pretty good friends to this day. So why did this entire progress from kindergarten to high school really affect me so much? Well, the truth is, myself and Brandon, we were both really different people. But the thing is, whenever I asked him if he could help me with this question, or if he could help me with anything personal that was going on, he didn't really ask me for much. And for that, I have no choice but to give him my utmost respect. And honestly, I'm glad to. Girlfriends? My first real girlfriend was in primary school, but we were honestly just best friends. You see, I can't really say that we were boyfriend and girlfriend because we didn't do anything like kissing or dating. Not that we could, we were in year 3 and the best I could do was walk her to the end of the bloody playground. Yeah, that's right, I'm not a smooth mover on your weight back. But there is always something that I can take away from the scenario, and it was this. Never take advice from a television. You see, I was still getting my head around certain things like schoolwork, friendships, and yes, relationships, but there was something I took away from a movie that we were just flicking through the channels. I can't even tell you what it was today. And I took this message away from it. Get yourself a woman, and if she doesn't want you, you move yourself to another woman. Ah, So the next thing you know, I go to school with this theory, and I can guarantee you I probably asked 10 girls out that week, and I wouldn't have a clue what I was doing. So thank God when I went to high school, I had a fresh start. And that, of course, is when I met Lily, in year 7. When I saw her, there was kind of this moment where my stomach felt like it was about to drop and I started to feel really dizzy. It might have something to do with the expired bacon cooked sandwich I had early for breakfast. And I know this is going to sound really, really corny, but when I saw her, I thought, my God, she is so beautiful. Why would she want to even think about me? So I had to bury any feelings that I had for her and I moved on. Well, except I didn't. I kind of had on and off relationships that really didn't work because always in the back of my mind was I wanted to talk to her. So after about 4 years, I finally mustered up the courage to talk to her. On Facebook. And to my surprise, she didn't immediately unfriend me about 5 seconds later. You see, I would ask her simple questions like, how you doing, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And she would ask me the same questions. I found out she had a wicked taste in music, she was a progressing painter, and like me, she was a little bit shy. I won't say we really connected because it's obvious that we both had the internet, but I could definitely feel we had a little bit in common. The only thing that already sucked was she had a boyfriend. And you know, I'm not one of those guys who comes up to your better half and then tries to persuade her to come over to my side and break up your relationship. So I backed off a little bit. Well, I couldn't really back off because we only talked a few times over 3 to 5 months because, unlike me, she had limited Wi-Fi. But then there was a twist. When I saw her at school one day, I could see she was on the verge of tears and I didn't know why. She was going through some major issues with her current boyfriend, and so I tried to lend a bit of support. For the first time in my life, I didn't care about my reputation or embarrassment. I cared about her. And it might have been a stupid move, but I'm really glad that I pulled it. I hugged her. It surprised even me to how I reacted because, trust me, at that point in my life I was so cowardly I would make a mouse look like king. But I did. And I was glad I did it. With each day that passed, she was smiling a little more to me and I would continue giving her hugs until eventually, Sunday, May 19th, 2013. That was the night that I asked her out. Over Facebook again. Honestly, she thought the entire thing was a bit of a joke and so she was asking me, "Are you serious?" I was a little bit confused, but the reason she asked me, "Am I serious?" is because the weekend after the weekend that I asked her out, she was actually going to ask me out. So when I arrived at school the next morning, it felt like a dream that the one girl that I had crushed on for so long finally wanted me back. Family. Oh God, where the hell do I start? My family is confusing. I've got a mum, a dad, a stepdad and a stepmum. Well, soon to be stepmum. On one side of the family I have 15 plus relatives who I know fairly well, and on the other I have 40 plus relatives which I only know 5 of. I was raised by my mum and my stepdad, and my dad lived in another town about an hour and a half away. My mother was actually a contestant in The Biggest Loser. Her name is Natalie Wallace, and to prove to you guys that I'm not fooling around. You may be wondering, well, anyone off the street can grab a shirt, so how can I actually prove it to you? Well, my mum is actually taking a nap currently. Maybe if I got 10 likes on this video, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, then maybe I'll put her into the next episode, and then you can see for yourself how I'm actually the son of a Biggest Loser contestant. Anyway, steering away from my parents, my brothers and I actually have a pretty decent relationship. We play video games, we fool around, we fight with each other, just what normal brothers do. Now me and my baby sister, that's where trouble starts. I mean, you should look at her, just look at her. She is obviously a descendant from Satan. In all honesty though, she was actually diagnosed with epilepsy a couple of days ago. And she's fine, but we still worry about her. And to be honest, she's made a strong impact on me as a person as to how a little human can get through all of the things that she did. And if you'd like to hear more about her story, please comment below. So you guys are probably wondering, why am I telling you all this? Do these relationships affect me as a person as to how I treat others? Maybe. But I like to think, using this as an example, no matter where you come from or no matter who you are, as long as you have people in your life that care, you're pretty much sitting on top of the world. Thanks for watching today's episode. I'm RHA, and I approve this video. See you guys. I do remember I used to wear this like Superman cape and I used to pretend I could fly around the room and such. That was truly the best of times. So the next thing you know, I go to school with this theory, and I can guarantee you I asked probably 10 girls that week and didn't know what the hell I was doing. Well, I knew what I was doing there.